Hi, this is Bill. I'm going to tell you why I'm budgeting zero for cars in retirement. I'm 68 years old. I'm still working, but I expect to be retiring probably, who knows, it could be within just a few months or maybe even a month or maybe a half a year, but it's coming. But what prompted me to make this video is that Buzz's retirement garage, he's talking about this in terms of capital expenses that he thinks he'll need to buy 2 cars in retirement. He's budgeted $40,000 for that. And then very recently, Howard from Otter's Retirement Corner has, I guess his wife's car died, so they're out looking for cars, and yeah, he's just talking about how much he totally hates this, and it's like, basically, it's a shit show. I mean, so he was talking about this whole experience with it. Sounded like the most entertaining part of his experience was listening to 2 guys negotiate with the dealer over price and financing and stuff. So anyway, in his video, he's thinking along the lines that he'll be buying 3 cars in his retirement time. He's already retired, by the way. He's my age. And he's allocated $140,000 for this. And he was kind of asking people, say, well, how are you playing for this? And I just said, yeah, I've budgeted 0. I mean, and of course, and why is this? And right now, currently, I drive the best car ever made, which is a 1985 Toyota truck. That's my daily driver, and the other car I have is a 2009 Lexus LS 460 that my father gave me, and the reason why I feel like, yeah, I don't need the budget for this is because what I'm spending on repairs for these 2 cars, and combined, this is repairs, your oil changes, things breaking and fixing, and the title, not the insurance. But just the registration titles. In 2024, I spent $5,213 on these 2 cars, and in 2023 it was $7,792 for these 2 cars. That's my detailed budgeting. And so I don't plan to spend that much. If I need to get a new car, I don't plan to spend that much. I'm fine driving beaters. I mean, yeah, I don't see any point in spending $40,000 for a new car or more. When you can buy a beater for these annual type maintenance repair costs. I mean, I can buy a decent beater for that. You can get according to a guy called the Real Car Dealer, who has a pretty good channel. He says like a 2005 Camry are like the best cars you can get. And I'm happy driving that. So I feel that the purchase of a car for me is just going to be in the noise of just regular maintenance, so I don't need to budget that. And yeah, that's how I feel about it. I could drive a beater. The last time I bought a new car was in 2008, and the experience was horrendous. After we had negotiated on a price for the car, it seemed like it took all day before we actually got the keys and drove the car off the lot. And yeah, I just hated all the time that took. We still have that car, by the way, 2008 Mazda 3. It's been a good car. I mean, my daughter owns it now, and she has it down in San Diego, and it has some collision damage, and so it's a beater too. But it has over 50,000 miles on it. Seems to run fine. She lives with her boyfriend. Her boyfriend's parents are trying to push her to get a new car, and my daughter's just not interested. She says this one works fine, and I say, yeah. I said, just change your oil and do basic things on it, and yeah, well, why buy a new car? It's cheaper to keep this one. It's the funny thing is, it seems like this Mazda 3 has become more reliable since she's owned it than when we owned it. So yeah. So now here's my rant. I wish I could do the same for home maintenance stuff because I need to get an HVAC system for my house, and I'm being told it's going to cost about $17,000. Yeah, I wish I could get a beater equivalent for that, because as I say, to me, these beater cars are going to provide probably 90% or maybe 80% of what a new car would get for like 1/10 the money. Whereas with the HVAC system, there seems to be no option like that. I'll probably get a bid from another guy, but I'm sure they're going to be around the same. And yeah, you're screwed. You know, like you need a new roof. It's just going to cost a ton of money. There's no beater option for that. I mean, so so those I do have to budget for. And I'll just take that out of savings. I guess is how I'm going to budget for these things. I had my house painted in 2021, so I guess that should be good to about 2031. So yeah, as I say, no beater option for those things. I guess there's a funny story on my apartment building. I rented out a unit to a tenant. It's a nice older couple. He runs an upholstery business, and he's in his 70s, and the dishwasher was not good. So I said, okay, I'll buy you a new one. You know, I'm the landlord. And he insisted on getting one new. Or no, sorry, insisted on getting one that was old and used. And he bought one for $50 on Craigslist or something. And he paid for it. He didn't even want me to pay him anything. So anyway, so I installed it for him, and it seemed like it was working. And anyway, a few years later, I was over there replacing a garbage disposer. And they said they wanted to get a new dishwasher. And I said, okay, well, I'll buy you. Well, they asked me they were going to, or told me they were going to get a new dishwasher. And I said, okay, I'll buy you a new one. And they were very insistent on not, have me do that. He says, his name is Carmen. He says, Carmen will get one. And I said, well, I'll pay for it. I mean, I did the same thing with a tenant next door that went out to Home Depot because he got a deal on a stainless steel one. He paid $750 for it, so I just gave him this $150 and we installed it ourselves. So anyway, after some haggling, they finally agreed to said, okay, I'll take $200. So I wrote him out a check for $200. So. But I guess the moral of the story here was that somehow, I guess beater appliances don't seem to do as well as beater cars, because this $50 dishwasher, I guess, never worked right according to them. I guess the mentality for cars and appliances and home things is different. I guess people buy an appliance and they just use it until it literally falls apart beyond any hope of repair. Whereas I think people get rid of their cars when there's like a ton of life left in them, and they're willing to sell them cheap too. So, I haven't figured out how to come up with a beater solution to home maintenance repairs. But if you have one, please let me know, because I'd like to save. I like to pay 10% and get 90% of use out of something. So anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, comment. It helps me with my low self-esteem. And until next time, may God bless you and have a blessed Saturday afternoon. Bye-bye.